World War I. A detailed overview. World War I, often referred to as the Great War, was a global conflict that lasted from July 28, 1914, to November 11, 1918. It involved many of the world's great powers and was one of the deadliest conflicts in history. This war reshaped nations, influenced the course of the 20th century, and left a legacy that continues to be felt today. Here's a comprehensive look at its causes, main events, key figures, and consequences. Origins and causes. The origins of World War I are complex and multifaceted, rooted in a web of alliances, nationalism, militarism, and imperial ambitions. 1. Nationalism. Nationalistic fervor was rampant in Europe, with various ethnic groups seeking independence or dominance. This was especially pronounced in the Balkans, where Slavic nationalism was a source of tension. 2. Imperialism. European powers were competing for colonies and influence around the world. This rivalry often led to conflicts and heightened tensions among the major powers. 3. Militarism. The arms race had led to the buildup of massive military forces. The belief that military power was essential for national prestige and security was widespread. 4. Alliances. Europe was divided into two major alliance systems. The Triple Entente, France, Russia, and the United Kingdom. The Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, although Italy later joined the Allies. 5. Assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The immediate trigger for the war was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary and his wife Sophie on June 28, 1914, by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb nationalist. This event set off a chain reaction of diplomatic maneuvering and military mobilizations. The outbreak of war. Following the assassination, Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum to Serbia, making demands that Serbia could not fully accept. On July 28, 1914, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. This declaration activated a series of alliances that escalated the conflict. 1. Germany. As an ally of Austria-Hungary, Germany declared war on Russia on August 1, 1914, and on France on August 3, 1914. Germany's invasion of Belgium brought the United Kingdom into the war on August 4, 1914, due to treaties protecting Belgian neutrality. 2. Russia. Mobilized in support of Serbia, drawing Germany's ire. 3. France and the United Kingdom honored their alliances and entered the war against the Central Powers, Germany and Austria-Hungary. Main events and battles. World War I saw numerous significant battles and events that shaped the course of the war. Here are some key highlights. 1. The Western Front. Characterized by trench warfare, the Western Front stretched from the North Sea to the Swiss border. Major battles included Battle of the Marne, 1914. A crucial Allied victory that stopped the German advance into France. Battle of Verdun, 1916. One of the longest and costliest battles, resulting in massive casualties on both sides. Battle of the Somme, 1916. Notable for its high casualties and the first use of tanks in warfare. 2. The Eastern Front, marked by more fluid movements than the static trench warfare of the West. Key events included Battle of Tannenberg, 1914, a decisive German victory against Russia. Brusilov Offensive, 1916, a major Russian attack that initially succeeded but ultimately failed due to lack of support. 3. Gallipoli Campaign, 1915-1916, an unsuccessful attempt by the Allies to secure a sea route to Russia through the Dardanelles. This campaign is particularly remembered for the heavy losses suffered by the Anzac, Australian and New Zealand Army Corps forces. 4. Naval warfare, including the blockade of Germany by the British Royal Navy and the German U-boat campaign, which aimed to disrupt Allied shipping. 5. The home front. The war had a profound impact on civilian life. Governments imposed rationing, conscription, and propaganda campaigns to maintain morale and support for the war effort. Leaders and key figures. World War I saw many prominent leaders and military figures who played crucial roles. 1. Allied powers. France, President Raymond Poincaré, Prime Minister Georges Clemenceau, and military leaders like Marshal Ferdinand Foch. United Kingdom, Prime Minister David Lloyd George and military leaders like Field Marshal Douglas Haig. Russia, Tsar Nicholas II and military leaders like General Alexei Brusilov. United States, President Woodrow Wilson, who led the country into war in 1917, and General John J. Pershing, commander of the American Expeditionary Forces. 2. Central powers. Germany, Kaiser Wilhelm II, Chancellor Theobald von Bethmann-Hollweg, and military leaders like Generals Paul von Hindenburg and Erich Ludendorff. Austria-Hungary, Emperor Franz Joseph I and his successor, Emperor Karl I, along with military leaders like General Konrad von Hotzendorf. Ottoman Empire, Sultan Mehmed V and military leader Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, who later founded modern Turkey. The United States enters the war. The United States initially maintained a policy of neutrality. However, several factors led to its entry into the war in April 1917. 1. Unrestricted submarine warfare. Germany's policy of sinking all ships, including neutral ones, that entered the war zone around Britain. The sinking of the Lusitania in 1915, which resulted in the deaths of 128 Americans, stirred public opinion against Germany. 2. Zimmermann Telegram. A secret communication from Germany to Mexico, proposing a military alliance against the United States, was intercepted and made public. 3. Economic interests. The U.S. had strong economic ties with the Allies, and their victory was seen as beneficial for American financial interests. 4. Idealism. President Wilson framed the war as a struggle to make the world safe for democracy. The end of the war. Several factors contributed to the end of World War I. 1. Exhaustion of resources. The Central Powers were economically and militarily exhausted. The British naval blockade had severely limited Germany's ability to sustain its war effort. 2. Allied offensives. The successful Allied offensives in 1918, supported by fresh American troops, pushed the Germans back. 3. Internal strife. Political and social unrest within the Central Powers. The Russian Revolution of 1917 had already taken Russia out of the war, and similar unrest was growing in Germany and Austria-Hungary. 4. Armistice. On November 11, 1918, an armistice was signed, ending the fighting on the Western Front. This date is commemorated as Armistice Day, now Veterans Day in the U.S. and Remembrance Day in Commonwealth countries. Consequences of the war. The aftermath of World War I had profound and lasting effects on the world. 1. Treaty of Versailles. Signed on June 28, 1919, this treaty imposed harsh penalties and reparations on Germany. It redrew the map of Europe, creating new nations and altering borders. The treaty is often cited as a contributing factor to the rise of Nazism and World War II. 2. Political changes. The war led to the collapse of several empires, including the German, Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, and Russian empires. New countries emerged, and existing ones saw significant political changes. 3. Social impact. The war caused immense human suffering, with millions dead or wounded. It also had a significant impact on gender roles, with women entering the workforce in unprecedented numbers due to the absence of men. 4. Economic consequences. The war devastated economies, leading to inflation, debt, and economic instability. This contributed to the global Great Depression in the 1930s. 5. League of Nations. An international organization was established to promote peace and cooperation among nations. Although it had limited success and the U.S. did not join, it laid the groundwork for the United Nations. 6. Technological and medical advances. The war spurred advancements in technology and medicine, including developments in aviation, radio communication, and treatments for injuries and diseases. Conclusion. World War I was a cataclysmic event that reshaped the world. Its causes were deeply rooted in the political, social, and economic conditions of the time, and its consequences were far-reaching, influencing the course of the 20th century and beyond. Understanding the Great War is crucial for comprehending the complexities of modern history and the ongoing impact of this global conflict.